Hi, I'm
Okay.
Anne Whalley. Welcome to my sewing room. And today I'm speaking with a sewist from Maine, over there in the US of A. And this sewist is an impeccable sewer, and the taste and his style is absolutely mind blowing. So let me welcome you to Duane from Mainly Menswear on Instagram. And let's have a chat and find out what's going on, where he's at, what kind of sewing he's getting done, and what plans he has for the future, and why he's addicted to sewing. Welcome, Duane from Mainly
Oh,
Menswear. How are you?
I'm great. I have such a thrill to be here with you. I just can't believe I'm doing this.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
this is really delightful. This is just delightful. So
Well,
I'm
I've seen you splashed over Instagram here, there, and everywhere, and I follow you, of course. And then I thought to myself, I wonder if that man has a web page. Whoa, unbelievable. So what we'll do for the viewers and the listeners, we'll put the links down so they can see the amazing clothes you make and the colors, the
yeah.
details. It really, I thought, my gosh, it's been there all along. And I mean, life's busy and you just quickly flip through Instagram, you get a little capture of what's going on. But sometimes just zipping over to that profile and going in and having a look and seeing what's going on. What got you started sewing? Tell me, Duane, how did you get from a baby to this? How on earth did that journey happen?
Oh my gosh. All right. I think a lot of people know, maybe you don't. It all started with one of those Japanese sewing books. Okay, that's where it started. And I was on Etsy looking for a gift, actually for my daughter, who was a fashion design major at one time. And up popped this Japanese sewing book, and I think a lot of people have seen it. It's the men's coat book, and it has this very kind of Burberry looking trench coat detail on the front. And I saw that and I thought, man, look at that. So I got a book for her and I got a book for me. And, those, I didn't really know. I knew a little bit. I knew my way around a sewing machine because, um, I had done some home deck kind of projects, making curtains, making slip covers, reupholstering old furniture that you find at the dump, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so I knew how to use the sewing machine, and I got this book, and it's really like IKEA. It's all these diagrams, right, that show you how to put the coat together. And I really fell hard for one of the, there's like a duffel coat in there that's like in a winter white. And it was just like, I go, man, look at that. And I just decided I would try to make it. And I just followed the pictures.
Oh my gosh.
And so I followed the pictures. I I found pattern review, because I was Googling like crazy
Mm.
because I didn't really know what I was doing, right? And and I could ask questions in the forum part, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I would go, oh, there, what about the pockets? Should I, because I couldn't read it, I couldn't understand it. I'm just following the pictures. So I'm going, what about the pockets? Should I interface them? Should I do all this stuff? And I got so much helpful information, and people would just, chime in and say, yeah, I would do that. And then I would just go ahead and do it. I just kept
Wow.
following the pictures. So, I finished that coat, and I was so totally addicted. I
Yes.
I just because all the coats in that book are really are amazing. There's a trench coat, there's like a pea coat. There's four in the book. So I decided I I don't know, I was kind of hooked. I decided, you know what, I'm going to make all 4 of these
Of
coats.
course.
And I can't, and since I just can't stop, I can't, it just one thing, while I'm working on one project, I'm thinking about the next one. I'm always like, oh man, because it opens up all these possibilities for you, right? You could have whatever you want.
I know.
It's like,
It's
it's like
it's
my,
like
I tell I tell people it's like a superpower.
it
You
is.
you don't have to shop. Well, you shop for fabric, right?
That's
But
not a
you can
chore.
have no, but you can have just what you want, and
Mm,
it's a trip, and
it
I
is.
can't. It is. And I just one project just goes into the next, on and on and on we go.
And
So,
I bet when you get to the end of it, sorry for interrupting, but if
oh,
you
I'm sorry.
don't,
I
I
run
know,
on like
but
crazy.
if you don't have 5 planned things to go on with, I think to myself, the more plans I have, the longer I live. Do you agree with that?
Oh my gosh. I guess. I don't know. I try not to have like a big stash of fabric, and it's getting harder and harder all the time. I used to just work project to project, one at a time, but now I see, I have things I'm thinking and I'm going, oh man, I think I need a new winter coat,
Of course.
which is right, because I live in a cold climate,
Yeah.
and I love making outerwear. I don't know. It's so much fun to make,
So
in my
I've
opinion.
noticed you've been doing shirts though, and they are looking very designer, unbelievable. So tell me about the shirts as well. What's going on with the shirts, and where are you getting that beautiful fabric from?
Okay. Well, shirts. Wow. I tell everybody, I said, if you can make a shirt, you can make anything. You can make anything, because we really take them for granted, and they're really complicated, and but I love all the precision, and I love the detail kind of stuff. I don't know, you might not. I know some of my blog followers know. I don't know if you know, I also built a sailboat while I was doing all of this stuff.
Wow.
So I'm I love to just make stuff. And um how can I explain it? I mean, if you're making something like a boat, you're trying to be as precise as you can be, right? Because you don't
Yes.
want it to. And it's the same with making a shirt. You want it to be as precise and as beautiful as you can possibly make it. And so there's something in me that's just wired for that kind of detail stuff. So I don't know, making a shirt is like the I call it the palette cleanser. If I work on, if I'm working on some other project, and I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do next, I will automatically go to like making a shirt, because guys can always use a new shirt, because we
That's it.
wear them all the time,
Well,
all the
all it
time.
takes is a little stain of spaghetti sauce, and then, I've
Oh,
got to make another one. That's the dilemma,
but they're
isn't it?
really
It's a tough one. You want it, you make the beautiful clothes, and then if you go out to a restaurant, well, that's not happening here at the moment, but I always think to myself, now what am I going to order? I might just get the white wine, because if the red splashes, I might not be happy. I went to a restaurant once and they brought those sparklers, those ones where you light them up and they go everywhere.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I lost a red fine woolen double-breasted jacket in a blink of an eye. I had little burn marks all over it. And
Ouch.
and I thought,
Ouch.
if I see a sparkler, I'm the one who's running behind the door now in any place, anywhere. And I will kill anyone who orders them, because it's like, are you crazy? there's too much work in something to be lost with a burn hole, you know?
Yeah.
Have you had
I
any
wouldn't be either.
have you had that where you've just finished making something and someone walked past you
Oh,
and
oh, mine is like, oh boy, you know, sometimes like I'll stick myself with a pin or a needle and I'll get some blood and you get some blood on something and you
oh,
just go, ah. I
apparently
can't.
if you spit on the blood, that takes it out because
Oh,
your
okay.
the
I'll
saliva
have to
is
remember.
the I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think, oh, for goodness sakes, how many times do you stick your finger when you're doing pinning and that? Oh, every
Oh, I
time.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you get a lot of, because you probably do a bit of hand sewing, would I say that would be correct? Like when you're finishing your jackets, are you part of the team that loves that lovely hand finish?
I do. I I eat all of that stuff right up. I have a really old sewing book, textbook. It's Edna Bishop, the Bishop method,
Yeah.
and it's very old. It's super old school, and I just love it because there's no fusibles anywhere. It's all done with traditional materials, with hair canvas and all kinds of basting and I eat it right up. I do. I just love it. So I love tailoring. I love making tailored jackets. It just I don't know, the whole process, it's so construction oriented. I just feel like I'm like really building something from the ground up, or in
And you get to
clothing,
wear.
it's sort of from the inside to the outside. We're building it out. I crave it. I love it.
Now, I was going to ask you, when it comes to fit, your clothes look like they fit you impeccably. So, do you have any little adjustments that you do on a regular basis to get that? Or are you just one of those people that has the perfect body for the pattern?
Oh, oh my God. No, there's nothing perfect going on here. I can tell you that. I do you know Peter Lappin, Male
Yes.
Pattern Boldness? Yeah, okay. Well, way back, we're going way back. He had like a sew along making the Negroni shirt. And I was new, and although I didn't want to make that shirt, it's just not my style. He said, well, you can, he opened it up to everybody and said, you can make whatever shirt you want to make. And he set up a kind of, I don't know how he did it, but there was almost like a little forum that he created of all the people that were participating, and we could communicate with each other and discuss our fit issues and problem solve them. And that's when I learned that I needed like a sloped shoulder adjustment.
Yes.
I had never heard, I mean, I was new. I had never heard of anything like that. I go,
Yeah,
what,
yeah,
what is that? Right. So that's kind of a standard thing for me all the time.
yeah,
And, if I have a new pattern, what I do is I pull out my shirt pattern, which I've traced off, and I will just compare the shoulder slope to my shirt,
yeah.
and I will know, right? Maybe I have to do it, maybe I don't, So that's what, I don't have, I'm a solo act, so I don't have like a fitting buddy or anybody to help
Yeah.
me. So I use my camera on a tripod and take
Perfect.
some pictures of myself, and then I just kind of analyze them and kind of go, what do I have to do to fix this?
Yeah.
So my other deal is that my upper back, as I've aged, I think it's natural that we start to curve, right? We
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
curve forward. So they call it a dowager's hump. Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
so boring.
lovely.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah. That's not
But
sweet at
anyway,
all.
no, but I've had to learn how to adjust that
Yeah.
because like on a like on a blazer or something, the collar will want to pull back on
Yes.
me.
Yes.
So I've had to learn to make that adjustment. It's all, it's all just been a learning process.
But isn't it amazing though? If you think about it, if you bought ready to wear now, you would find it ill-fitting. You couldn't
I
do it.
haven't, I know, you know what? This is the God honest truth. I probably haven't like shopped for clothes in like 10 years now.
Yep.
I'd say 9 or 10 years. I mean, the idea of going into a store to buy a shirt or to buy, a pair of trousers or something just never even crosses my mind.
Oh,
I,
well, I did it
I
the other day because we're in lockdown, Duane. We're in big lockdown. No shops, no nothing, except for supermarkets. So I bought a few things online thinking, they look good. I've never done that. It must be I'm going crazy from the COVID. But I tried on the bits and pieces. I bought a few accessories because I thought they look funky. Guess what's happening on Monday?
Right.
They're going back. I don't like any of them. I am ruined. I can't do online shopping. I can't do it,
Yeah.
except for shoes. The shoes are fine.
Oh. I do fabric online. You can
Yeah.
do shoes. I do fabric.
I've got to have my shoes. If it's on sale and I know what the range is, I've got them. So, but the fabric I have to touch. It's so hard. It's like I want to touch it. But if they send you out a sample, I think that's great because then you really want to know, the thickness and the drape.
Yeah, right. I have a couple places here in the States that will send a free sample, and so I do business with them. And
favorite fabric stores. Come on, Duane. Tell us your favorite fabric stores.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Before COVID, I used to get to go to New York, like maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year, maybe. What are the stores that I love? There's a store, Elliott Berman, and it's all, oh my God, it's all French, Italian import stuff. And so if I'm looking for something like super special, I would go there. That's the store where I have my biggest fabric regret ever. They had a whole, I was there once. They just had roll after roll, like in a barrel of these kind of little tiny floral print cottons. I think they were French. And I'm a sucker for little flower print shirts, like little Liberty prints. And I didn't get any of it. And I've been kicking myself ever since that I didn't do that. It's just like, I don't know what was going through my mind, but I didn't get anything. Since the COVID thing, there's a gal in Massachusetts, so not far from me in New England here, who has gorgeous her online store is Gorgeous Fabrics.
Yes, and she's got beautiful stuff.
Yeah. And so she will drive to New York, and she has a whole network of wholesalers that she visits. And so she, her little tagline is like, we bring the garment district to you. And she does. She really does. Yeah. And I've gotten some, she does a lot of knits, and which aren't my thing. They terrify me. So I don't do very many knits, but she has she'll have some great men's shirting almost all the time, and she just finds really great stuff. And so she's been a great source for me during the whole pandemic. So
how and would you say that she would know you by name?
I think I went to an open house at her store, at her place once. She had a Christmas open house. This is probably like a couple of years ago, and I drove down because I wanted to meet her,
Yes.
and you know, and see her operation, which was just really eye-opening. She has all this fabric everywhere. She has an amazing lighting system. Her photography is like impeccable.
Yeah.
And what you see on your computer screen is like exactly what you're going to get. I don't know how she does it. I know she spends a ton of time
Yeah.
working on it because it's important to her, and you're right, and to her clients, right?
Yeah.
And so she's got this elaborate setup, and she's got a dummy, and she drapes her stuff on it. It's just really, it was really, really fun. And uh, I, once this pandemic is over, maybe we'll do it again.
Oh gosh, yeah. Can you believe it? What's happening with the pandemic where you are in Maine? Have you got? Is
Yeah,
it contained?
uh,
Or
Actually, we have done really, really well here in Maine. Um, we have a great director of the CDC here in Maine who does a conference. Now it's twice a week. I think it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. And he is this incredibly articulate, brilliant guy. And he just like tells it how it is, right? He's honest, but he at the same time he's compassionate
mm,
about the people, that have died, most of whom are elderly people in nursing homes here in this
yeah,
state. um, and and I think our governor has been really smart about about how a lot of people are complaining about how slowly things have opened up, but I think in the end it's saving a lot of lives. And we just have to, we've just got to stay strong and keep going.
yeah,
I think everybody, a lot of people have, I work in healthcare, and we are fatigued, right?
mm,
Where
mm,
it's hard to keep up the enthusiasm, and it's easy to kind of give up,
mm,
but we can't. So,
yeah,
we're in it for the long haul. I think
yeah.
the whole world is, right?
It's
And we just have to stay strong.
it's so surreal because we've all watched the movies, and before I go to sleep at night, I read a couple of Ken Follett books, and one I'm reading is the one that is the sequel to Pillars of the Earth. And I'm reading about the Black
Oh,
Plague. Now, back in the 1300s, and he goes into a lot of detail. He's a really great writer. And he was talking
yeah.
about how this nunnery place was looking after the people who had the plague, and about separating people and bringing in that whole isolation, and how one of the nurses heard that in Italy, because they had it bad over there, they were putting linen over their faces. And so she was adopting that and I thought, well, this makes sense, doesn't it? Way back then they were putting masks on. It was almost like it wasn't a horror story, it was more of a reality show. And I thought, oh my gosh, how did that come to it? That book would have been, oh, isn't it scary? But now it's like, oh, we're in scary. How did that happen?
We are. Yeah, I know. I know. Anyway, we're all got to stay strong. We got to
What a
stay
soap.
strong and keep going. And so, yes, stay home and make great stuff. That's what I
Yeah.
tell people.
Preparing for the new world when we might not have to wear masks. I don't know. I'm going to have to update my mask wardrobe. Have you got nice casual masks that you
Okay.
wear?
Actually, I don't. I take them from work.
Oh, do
So
you?
I just wear what I wear at work.
Yeah, it's easier, isn't it?
It is. It is. I'd rather make other things. I
Yeah.
I want to make other stuff. I don't want to make masks anyway.
So tell
So
me, Duane, you've made
yeah.
your first coat and
Hmm.
you put it on. Run me
Yeah.
through when you look in the mirror, you see what you've made. What's going on in your head and in your heart? Tell me what happened.
Oh man. I'll tell you, I the first one I made, the winter, oh my gosh, it's a herringbone wool. First of all, it's a wool coat, so it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's like my favorite thing to work with. And I finished it actually in the summer. And the first time I put it on, I bet it must have been like 98 degrees or something. It was ridiculously hot. But I put it on, and the heft of it and just the total feel of everything that I had put into it. Again, there were no fusibles. I had used a hair canvas front. It had it's still, it's not in the past tense, I still have it, it had a beautiful lining in it. And it just, it felt so luxurious.
Yes.
It just felt like $1,000,000 when I put it on, because it was just all made with beautiful material. And you, I don't know, it's addictive. That kind of stuff is just totally addictive for me when you put it on, and it just feels like nothing that you've worn before, right?
Wow.
It just, I don't know, that's why I love all those traditional materials, because they have their own feel.
Mm.
And I don't think that like fusibles can really reproduce what that feels like.
Mm.
To me,
Yeah.
that's just
Sure.
my feeling anyway.
It's
But I
what.
would, like this coat, like on the cuff, I had used like like a bias strip of hair canvas to,
Oh,
reinforce that cuff. And it just felt like, it had this kind of heirloom feel to it. Does that make sense?
yes. The
Like,
quality
I don't
and
know, like it's a garment that's come out of the past to you in the present, because
yes.
it feels totally different than what's produced now,
Yeah.
right?
And
That's how
it's
I feel about it anyway.
every detail is the detail you care about that you've put
Yeah,
into it that matters to
yeah,
you. It's I
yeah,
look at sometimes the designers, and you know how you see fashion designers and they've got their runway shows. I think they're doing that in New York at the moment. And I think they're not wearing what they make. I mean, I don't know, that could be just a big statement, but I think to myself, why aren't you wearing the clothes you design? Why haven't you got one on too? Why,
mm,
you know what you love. I would assume that the clothes they make they would love wearing. And then I think, well, maybe being a sewist, we can we can be the designer, we do the runway, and we wear our clothes.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it feels the way
absolutely.
we want it to feel. I don't know if those models want to feel the way they feel when they get those clothes. Just
Yeah,
a thought. It's a
yeah,
little thought.
yeah,
Is we
yeah.
can actually
I
bespoke our whole creation for our lifestyle, for our body shape, the fabric, the hand sewing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's truly, it's a superpower. It's a superpower in my estimation. You
Yeah.
know, a lot. I look at. I'll, I'll back up, because we're all isolated from each other.
Yeah.
Um, One of my good sewing buddies who lives in New Jersey this summer got in touch with, me and some other sewists, and said, every week, let's just like get together and do a little Zoom thing. And we'll
Oh,
just talk about, whatever we're doing. Right.
yeah.
It was a godsend,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And so when I was working at the time, I look at what's like coming down the runway, and most of it is pretty, I don't know, it's not my style. Let's just put it that way,
Yeah.
right? But every once in a while, I'll see something, and the little light, the light bulb goes on, and I go, oh man, that's actually kind of cool. You know, that's something that I would wear. So, um, so I made this, I kind of made this like fake Hermes shirt from their new spring collection. And
Yeah.
they did they did it, they did their runway thing as a video, and it was a very cool video. And the clothes just, you know, struck me as just being really wearable. Like, it was just like, man, I would wear that. Those drawstring pants, that's kind of, and that, you know, whatever. So anyway, there was this shirt, and I thought, wow, that's actually kind of cool. So I went ahead and made it. So we were doing this little Zoom meeting, and I asked the other Zoomers, I said, you know, do you guys bother to look at what's coming down the runway? Does it like influence you at all? And they're all women, and they said, no, we don't even bother.
Oh,
We're not really interested. And
yeah.
it's like, so kind of a lot of that stuff just doesn't really filter down to, I don't know, to real people. It seems, you know.
Oh,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I love the
Do you think?
sleeves. Oh my gosh. I have that many screenshots, honestly. I get a little notification on my phone to say, do you want to archive these? No, I don't, because this is it, you know. I want that vibe. I like the oversized, but I like the fitted.
Okay.
And then I think to myself, maybe I could do a fitted oversized, you know. And, you know, this whole thing of you see it and your heart starts pumping. I can't,
Okay, so
I,
you see stuff that
that's,
trips your trigger, right?
that's where
But
I'm,
you
and
want your own, take
vibe.
on it,
Yeah, I don't want
right?
exactly that.
Yeah,
But I have to say,
yeah.
I did look at that shirt, and I have to say that that photo that you went like that, oh my gosh. I said to my husband, you need to be doing poses like Duane here. I look at this shirt, look at this, the sunglasses. Oh, you nailed it. And I thought, how fun is that? How fun is
I
that?
know. It's great. Yeah. I
Having
love this shirt.
fun.
Yeah. You know, they're the
And,
clothes that I really want to wear. I was,
and
you know, I've also been thinking a lot, you know, in the whole sewing community, there's a lot of discussion about sustainability these days. And a big part of, for me, a part of sustainability is actually wearing the things that we make and
yeah,
wearing them over and over and over again because we love them. And that's like sustainable dressing, because you're making exactly what you want, and it's not disposable. You're
no.
going to wear it and wear it and wear it. I still have the first shirt that I made with Peter's shirt sew along, and it was horrible. The collar was a disaster, and and I actually went back and fixed it. I had a little bit of the fabric left over. I saved all my scraps. Oh my God, I
Yes.
got a bin. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a bin full of scraps. I can't throw anything away. But so I had some leftover fabric. I went back, you know, because I'd learned more. I had,
Mm.
you know, my skills had grown, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take the collar, that nasty collar, off this shirt and redo it. And
Yeah.
you know, there's a closet right here. I wear that shirt. I still wear it all the time. And I bet I've had it now for going on 10 years, and I wear it all the time, you know?
I
So
have,
that's sustainability. That to me is sustainability, because
I, I,
I
I
still love the
love that.
shirt.
I know there's minimalism, and I know that there is excess, and we're all different types of sewers. So
Yeah.
I think there is a lovely um, a discussion about being sustainable and all those wonderful words that we need to be aware. Are we just doing like ready to wear fast clothes and getting rid of them? That's a really good subject to have. But then you've got your personalities, where I was brought up where I didn't have a lot of choices with clothes because nothing fitted my body. So I ended up having a very few amount of things, few things that I loved. I started sewing because of that. So now I make a large amount of clothes, but I don't get rid of them. I sometimes cut them up into
Yeah.
smaller pieces, when I'm over wearing that type of style. But I have some that I retire to the fourth part of my closet. And that means you don't come out until I find you exciting again. Because I think it's a bit like having spaghetti bolognese once a week. If I do that too often, I will start to hate something. How do you do your rotation on your clothes?
Oh boy. Well, I think menswear is a little bit different, right? I think because it's pretty, there's pants and shirts. So I'm pretty basic. I'm pretty basic. What I like to do is just kind of like add a little twist to it a little bit, right? So, I don't know. I've got a couple shirts that I did like an ombre kind of dyeing on them. So, I made the shirt and then one of them is purple and one of them is brown, but they have kind of this ombre effect. So you can like dye something, or I might put like a contrasting fabric on the inside of the cuffs and maybe inside the collar stand just to jazz it up a little bit. What other little hack? So I'm kind of, I have some basic TNT patterns, right? I have a shirt, I have and I have a pair of pants. I've never made a pair of jeans. That's on my to-do list. Yeah, that's on my to-do. I have the pattern for them. I don't know when I'm going to get around to it. But so like with like a pair of trousers, sometimes, you can add an extra pocket somewhere or switch up the pockets or, just kind of do something a little bit different.
The details.
So mostly it's kind of theme and variations kind of thing.
And the texture fabric.
Oh my, yeah. I'm pretty traditional, but I want it with like a little difference, right? I don't want to look like everybody else. No. So, I want I want people to, if they are paying attention and they see me, I would like people to say, "Oh man, that's that old guy with the really cool clothes."
Duane, do they actually come up and say, "Where did you get your coat or shirt?" Has anyone had the bravery to come up?
Oh my God, I was yes, I was actually, I was getting off an airplane. I'd been on a trip, and you know how there are those kind of jetway things, and you're walking through the tunnel thing to get to the terminal, and there was a young woman behind me. And I don't know what, I made some kind of comment. I don't know what I said. And I don't know, she came up behind me and she goes, "Man, you got a really cool shirt." And so that was kind of, that was just really unexpected. Yeah. It was like a Japanese double gauze shirt that I made.
Wow.
And yeah. And, I'd been to a warm place and I was coming back wearing this shirt and she was behind me and passed me, I think she went, for some reason, I stopped or something. And as she was going by, she goes, "Man, that's a really cool shirt." And I said, "Well, thank you. Thanks."
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. That's very nice. And then once I was out I was walking my little dog, and I made a spring jacket that was actually made out of some old toile drapery curtain material. And it was a takeoff on a Dior jacket that I saw that I kind of flipped over. And I thought, oh man, that's really something. So, that's the kind of stuff I do, right? So I saw this jacket, this spring jacket from Dior, which was this like black and white toile, and it was really just gorgeous. And I thought, man, I would love something like that. So I had this old cotton drapery fabric upstairs in this kind of, black charcoal gray and stuff. So I made a jacket, and I was out walking the dog one day, and a woman pulled up, because I'm way out in the country, and a woman pulled up in her car, and we knew each other, and she says, "Man, you look really dapper today." I go, "Well, thank you."
How nice is that? Do you know though,
Yeah,
Duane,
yeah,
with the kind of clothes that you've made, and once people look at your webpage and look at your Instagram posts,
yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't got people saying, where are you getting your clothes from? Because they are absolutely stunning. I looked at them and I thought,
Yeah.
can it get any better? Can it get any better? And it does. You
Thank you.
use the most amazing fabrics. You've got a real creative mind. And I think that if the people aren't coming up to say anything, they're thinking it, and they're wondering, who is
Yeah,
this man? They might be a little bit intimidated by who they might think he's a designer or someone from, you know, who knows where. And he's trying to keep incognito and they're giving you a bit of space. I mean, I always make up stories in my own head about what's really going on. But I think that if I were walking past you, I'd think, oh, I think he looks like he's got it all together. But I don't know if I'd be brave enough to say it. So I think you might find that more people are thinking it than you imagine.
yeah, maybe,
Your stuff is
you know.
blockbuster. It's blockbuster,
Thank,
really.
thank you, thank
So
you.
it
Anyway,
shows. It shows you've thought about the colours, you've thought about the design, and then you've gone, how long does it take to make a jacket? Should I even ask? I mean, will it put people off?
oh my, I'm really slow. I'm a really slow sewer. But that doesn't, I'm never in a hurry. That's the flip side of that, is that I'm not in a I don't feel like that I have to rush to get something done. So I just like to take my time. I Because of my, because of the tailoring work I've done, which is all self-taught, you
Mm.
know, um, I, I've think I've learned to slow down. I based just about everything with like cotton basting thread. I have a whole, I have a big spool of it and I use it all the time, all the time. But it just helps with my accuracy, and I just feel that I'm able to control the fact. I'm
Mm.
trying to control everything, right? I
Yeah.
guess I'm a control freak. Anyway, anyway, so I'm very slow and very deliberate, and a lot of times when I'm up here, this is my little sewing corner. I often think in my head, the time that you're actually spent at the machine is really such a short period of time, so all my time, I spend all my time up front of going to the machine. I want to have everything ready to go, like basted together, so that I know that I'm not going to have to rip it apart. And I just want to do it. I just want to do it. I just want to do it once. But the time at the machine is so minimal in comparison to all of the rest of the hand sewing, especially in like a tailored jacket.
Mm.
But I just love all of that stuff, all that, all that pad stitching and all of that stuff. I love it, and I could just, I just sit here and just hand stitch away. It's very relaxing. It's been a great, did you see, I made the COVID blazer? Did you see that on my blog? It
Which
was
one
like,
was that? Let me have a quick little look. I
it's a,
saw the
it's
one
a,
with that Japanese fabric, but I wasn't sure which
yes, yes, yes,
that. I love
yes.
that one.
I called it the COVID blazer. Yes, it was Merchant and Mills,
Yes.
uh, yeah, kind of a cross-hatched seersucker cotton.
I
Oh
have some of
God,
that.
it was.
I have that. Was
Do
it
you?
hard to work with or good?
Oh, well, you know what? I just loved it anyway. I'd been lusting after it. I saw it on a website. And and the place that I actually still have the samples, they're over here. There's a store in Chicago that stocked it, and
Oh,
she had in 3 different colors: navy blue, black, and gray, and sent
oh,
me a swatch of each one. And once I got it in my hand, it's pretty lightweight.
yeah.
But I don't know. I just loved it. It just it tripped all my triggers, right?
Yeah,
And it's just like, man, I want this. And it was, it was just so much fun making that. And just, I don't know. I was just loving making it.
it looks
Did
beautiful.
you know I even made handmade buttonholes on the jacket,
Oh my
which
gosh.
and I mean, my buttonholes are nothing to write home about. But, it was during the whole COVID thing. And I
Yeah,
thought, you know what? We have all this time. I'm not going anywhere other than work and the grocery store.
yeah.
And I thought, you know what? Why not just buckle down and really do like a handmade buttonhole on this thing.
Why
So I
wouldn't?
did. So, I've watched a YouTube video of this English guy, and I mean the buttonholes that they make, on Savile Row and stuff are just
Yeah,
so I, people that aren't into sewing can't understand why, people like us would just like go
so
on and on about how just divine it is.
yeah,
How incredibly, just how perfect and gorgeous it is, and so the bar is set so high.
it's
But you know what?
yeah,
Try it, do it. I just
yeah,
said, just try it. So I practiced and practiced. There's this saying that you have to make 100, you have to
yes,
practice 100 times. Have you heard that one?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
I think I think I got to like 25, and
Yeah,
I just said, you know what? I'm just going to go for it.
yeah,
And they're not perfect, but they're my buttonholes, and
yeah,
it's my jacket. And I haven't really worn it any place yet. I had a nephew that was going to get married,
yeah.
and they've totally scrapped their wedding. It was going to be in June. They
Oh,
canceled. They wanted to reschedule it in January, and they have finally decided, you know what, we're just going to have our parents
yeah,
there, and we're going to get married.
yeah.
So
Can't
I
wait.
basically, I was thinking that I would, wear it at some events, or, that was going to happen around his wedding. And,
Yeah,
but I haven't really worn it yet. It's still sitting in the closet. Still
it's
sitting in the closet.
waiting. Now,
It is. It's waiting for its moment.
now, now, Duane, I'm not asking you how old you are, but I want you to think back to when you were a teenager, you're in your 20s, and think about the wardrobe you used to wear. How did you feel in comparison to the wardrobe you're wearing now?
Hmm. Wow. Um, wow. I grew up in New England, in the 60s. And, all the boys, we were all, I didn't go to prep school, but we all dressed that way, right? We all wore penny loafers, uh, button down. Look, I'm still wearing them. Button down Oxford shirts, uh, Chinos. Jeans were out. You couldn't wear them to school. That was forbidden, right?
Yeah,
So you couldn't, no, you didn't wear jeans to school. So very conservative, a very conservative dresser. Then, you go off to college and you can dress like a hippie, right? You
yeah.
can wear basically I wore jeans, turtlenecks, and Shetland sweaters. That's all I remember wearing.
But that suited you.
Yeah. And, I live in Maine, and there's a big outdoor retailer just like, 30 minutes away from me, like internationally renowned, flannel shirts and lots of polar fleece and puffer jackets and stuff. And it's, I used to wear some of that, but I'm not the least bit interested in
No.
looking that way anymore. Not at all, because I just want something that's not totally off the rack. It's
That's
not,
it.
you know what I mean? That you can't, I want something that you can't buy somewhere. Is
And isn't it lovely to be able to look back at what was and what is now, and how you feel more like you now than you probably ever have felt in your whole life? Would you say that would be correct?
Yeah, I think that's true. And I don't know, our clothes are an outward expression
Yeah.
of ourselves, right? And I'm a creative person, and I always have been. And so why dress like everyone else, So I want my own thing. I just want my own thing. And I don't know. It just feels good. I don't know. I just love putting on the clothes that I've made with all, and not, there's all kinds of little imperfections,
Yeah.
that I see. So, but I don't think other people see them. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. But, I put them on and I feel like me. And I enjoy wearing them.
Oh,
And
look, that's what it's about. It's about that elevation of mood. You've put on something that you've created, that you've done, and it
yeah,
just, you're taking the vibe with you wherever you go. What could be better than that?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
can you give us an encouraging word, or something that we can use in the weeks to come that will just uplift us and help us to continue? Because I think you've got it worked out. You look calm, and you've got to take calm into where you help people. So give us a
Yeah.
word of encouragement or something to help us hold on to so that we can keep going too.
I don't know. We just have to be strong. You have to, oh, it's so hard. Man, it's so hard. We had a staff meeting the other day, and, one of the other nurses that I work with is, I'm lucky. My kids are, my children are safe. I've got a daughter who's working from home. So she's in a relatively safe place. My son, well, my son is in a dangerous place. He actually works with active COVID patients, but he gets tested frequently.
Yeah.
Um, but we have, we're working with other people whose kids are, adult children are not in a good place. They're unemployed, they have no prospect, they're the industry that they worked in is no longer, maybe.
Mm.
And 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 that poor person is really at her breaking point, and so we're trying to rally around her to
Yeah.
support her, so maybe we just have to be kind to each other and to try to rally round, kind of rally round each other, because we're in it together,
Yeah.
right? We're in it, eh, even though all related or working together, it is a team, it's a team effort. We all have to be working together to support each other, because everybody has tough times.
Yeah.
Everybody has a rough patch, right? So just to acknowledge it, just
Yeah.
to say, you know, I know that this is grinding you down in its own way. I had a situation here in this state where a person that had been told to quarantine refused to quarantine and attempted to get on an airplane to fly someplace else, and was apprehended at the airport by the CDC because they caught wind of it.
Oh,
And we were talking about how, from our vantage point where we're trying to take care of people, to have somebody attempt to do that is almost like a wound. It really, it just hurts, you know, because you're doing everything that you can to, you know, to keep people safe and to keep yourself safe, and to have somebody so recklessly self-centered do that just is, it hurts us all. It you know, it hurts us all. So
It's
I don't know.
it's beyond
It's,
imagination, but we don't know
it
what their
really, yeah,
situation is, which is even. I always think
yeah,
that, like, as much as sometimes, you know, we all have those moments where things aren't going terribly well in the household, or you just you drop the ball, and I think, you know, if I'm dropping the ball, others are too. You know, we're not the only ones that have to have a little bit of a time out. You know, time out, that's it. We're just going to recoup, and then we're going to go back out strong. And I think that is probably a really great word, that to be strong, we've got to feed ourselves. And whether that's sewing or making something or doing something that really gives us joy, because our brain needs to have a break from what's going on all the time. It's no
yeah,
good if you're going around and you feel paralyzed. So being
yeah,
strong means making sure you can be strong too, I suppose.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. We're gonna get through this.
We will. We
We're
will.
gonna come out the other. We're gonna come through out the other side.
Bring on
You
that
know.
vaccine. I'm lining up for the injection.
Yes.
Oh dear. Well,
Oh,
thank you
yeah.
so much for coming to our sewing rooms today.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm such a yakker,
Perfect.
but I just yak away.
Everyone who has a passion is a yakker. If no one's passionate, there's no
Okay.
yakking.
All right.
And one
Okay.
and one day we'll meet in real life, and I'll get to touch those jackets. And honestly, I might have to.
Okay.
I'll try and work out your size, because I can tell you, my husband's got the same kind of style ingredients as you. That little bit of quirky twist. You might have to keep an eye
Yeah.
on the fact that that
But
jacket doesn't walk out the door.
oh my God. I got a thing that's gonna pop up on, well, it's gonna be Thursday for you because you're like a day
Yes.
ahead of me, right? You're a day ahead of me. But you know that you saw that the Style Maker Fabrics invited
Yes.
me on their little, so my blog post is gonna go up. Well, you'll see it on, it's gonna happen on Wednesday, but it'll be Thursday for you.
Yeah.
So that was a really fun experience. That was really I don't know, it's like a kid in a candy store there. I
Yeah.
mean, it was just like so anyway, I mean, that was that was, I couldn't believe it when they contacted me to do that. It was just like, oh man,
So
sure,
good.
I'll do that. I'll do
Well,
that. So you'll get to see that on Thursday.
and we'll have the
It's
links down, because this will probably come out a few weeks after, but people won't miss
yeah,
out on it, because they can go and check the link from the YouTube and go to your webpage and read all about it, which is just fabulous. So it's there and we can see it.
okay. I think the photo shoot I did, oh, can I yak some more? This is
Yes,
so much
please
fun.
go on.
I don't get to talk sewing to anybody, you know? But anyway, like I live in the country, and there's this little pond like way out in the woods. You have to walk out a trail to get to it. So there's nothing, it's totally wild. I call it the wild pond. So I did my photo shoot out at this pond in the woods. And because usually I'm just in my backyard, you know, and so it was really, I just think the photo shoot came out great. It's just like real outdoorsy and fall looking. And I hope people respond positively to it, you know, especially since I'm the token guy. I'm the only
Yeah.
guy in the group. So it has to be good.
I am a little bit concerned, Duane, that once my husband sees those jackets, I might have to start sewing something for him. He keeps putting some of the fabric he likes, because we shop together sometimes when
Oh
we're
yeah,
on
yeah,
trips. And he sneaks it in. He goes, "That'll be a nice shirt." And I said, "And that'll be a nice
yeah.
shirt for you to make, because I've got a lot to do."
Yeah. He can, Yeah, he should make a shirt. It's so much fun. It's
He
just
should.
so I just, just take it a little chunk at a time. It's the palate cleanser.
Yeah.
I got
Oh,
one of the gals in this one of this gal I gotta shut up. One of the gals in this little sewing Zoom thing making jeans is her palate cleanser. And I can't even wrap my head around that because
right.
I think from what I understand, they're very difficult to make.
My
So
biggest fear is with jeans is that you finally do one of those hammering things in for the, the little,
yeah, the
whatever they are,
rivet thing.
and then you muck it
Yeah.
up and you tear your pants. It's like, man, not now. So I think if I was
No.
making jeans, I'm not putting those things in. That would annoy me to no
Oh
end.
my God. Oh man. Yeah, this has just been a blast. Thank you so much.
Had so
All
much fun,
right.
Duane. And one day we'll meet.
Okay.
I'll come over and
All right.
we'll meet in New York and we'll go fabric shopping.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, yeah. There's
let's do
so,
it.
man. Oh,
That's a
okay.
date.
All
All
right.
right. Okay.
All right.
See you, Duane. Lovely to meet you
Have a
and
great
lovely to
day.
chat.
All
You
right.
too. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye.
Well, the bobbin's empty. I've had such a lovely time catching up with Duane from Mainly Menswear, and all the links will be down below. And you'll be able to see his amazing clothes, his jackets and his shirts, the colour. It's just wonderful. And also the style maker blog posts that he's writing up about in his photo shoot at that little lake out in the country. So how fun is that? Talking to someone who has a passion for fabric and sewing. And my passion is to have you sew from good to great, to find your style ingredients, to make clothes to make you feel like you, so that you feel great and you can carry the vibe with you every day. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube series. And if you want to have a little bit more inspiration in between the YouTube videos that come out, check out my Instagram at Whalley. I post about sewing and what I'm sewing and how I sew it and a few tips and tricks as well. And my blog, annwhalley.com. Check out the stories. I've written a whole lot of blogs over the years, so that'll inspire you and give you a few tools to keep going. I'll see you next time in my sewing room with another sewist who's passionate about what they do and doing what they love and wearing what they make. See you next time.